Okay, so you can take a seat or lie down, closing the eyes, opening the palms. Resting your awareness to the breath and just becoming aware of this flow of energy. And you might start to experience a pulsation, a tingling, a spaciousness, or emotionality. And seeing that this window of time is about you and your experience. And your whole life actually is about you and your experience. And in your experience, you are always right for you. And I think what we often do is we meet life with an expectation, with an idea of how it should be, with the feeling that just because it was like this yesterday, it has to be like this now. But life shows itself in so many different ways and waves. And even though I am fairly certain that we are all in an energetic rotation from fear to love, from the mind to the heart, and that this potential of allowing everything to unwind into its natural state, into its source energy, even though I'm fairly certain that that is a commonality that we all share in this space, you go through it uniquely for you. And you would even bring your own words or ways to it, because it is something that can be felt and it's something that can be experienced. It is not really something that can be articulated. It's it's something beyond language. And this is also why we are living in a world where we have all these different interpretations of this singular expression. And what has happened is that there's been so much conflict on this earth because people identified with the unique way in which they interpret this singular truth. And it's a truth that lies beyond all perceptions and perspectives. And so I think that to love is to place your perspective and your perception alongside everyone else's, and to recognize that the deepest truth of reality lies not within any of it. It lies in something beyond it. And even though you can touch it with your awareness, with your experience, the moment you try to put a voice to it, it's already not that. But then what are we left with? We are left with how that ultimate truth moves around our humanity, moves around our experience of ourselves. And this is where there are commonalities like the experience of a warmth, the experience of a love, the experience of a peace that is so vast, the experience and the ability to see an emanation of light. And then also the unique way in which your humanity is completing itself. And so your relationship with creation is deeply personal. Your relationship with your humanity is deeply personal. And I think what we find here is a place and a space where all of it can really be just so. And I said this the other day to someone, there is such a fine line between having awareness and using that awareness to make people aware of themselves, or using that awareness to simply love what's in front of us and to trust that life is doing the rest. So, what would happen if we wouldn't interfere where we actually feel like we want to the most? What would happen if we would then take a pause and see what life is actually doing, what the person itself is becoming aware of, and maybe even leaning into this feeling that whatever that is right for them, and that we can just let life be in that sense. And I feel like this is a place and space where life can just be, where you can just be. There is no part that you become aware of that you are then judged for. There is no part that you can become aware of that isn't received in love. And I think in so many fields and places and spaces, because of humanity's inability to fully love their own humanity, oftentimes something is not welcome, or we should get rid of it, or we should heal it, we should move beyond it. But all of these things and all of these miracles, they actually unfold by allowing a person to just be. Because this is where something greater is flowing through everything consciously. And I don't know about you, but all I really want is to be received in love. I don't need to be analyzed. I don't need to be interpreted. I don't need to be healed. I just wish to be received in love. And the good news is that because I have such a strong personal wish to be received in love, I commit to receiving in love. And even if there are awarenesses, and even if people invite me to share them, they're not there to punish anybody. They don't have a puncturing quality to it. It is delivered from the fullness, the roundness, and the warmth of love. Because what we all wish is not to be fixed or healed. What we wish is to be loved, is to return to love. Love is very natural for us. Love is our natural state. And so somehow what this has become, aside from what maybe it brings you on a personal level, depending on what is being shared or talked about, this space is a space of returning to love. This space is a space that makes available something that can be felt and hardly spoken. And so then the recognition that we are only ever speaking about how this experience influences our personal experience inside our bodies, inside our minds, inside our energy, then there can also never be a right or wrong in that. So if I'm saying become aware of this or that, and you become aware of something else, trust that that's precisely what you need to become aware of, and that there is no doing it wrong here. There's no doing it wrong in love. There's no doing it wrong in the eyes of creation. I'm sure of it. I've experienced too much of it to question that. So then this whole reality for me became about love. And the love that we are extending is towards ourselves. And that frees up our energy in a way that people can touch it easily inside themselves when they're near you. And when I say that sentence, it moves me to tears. Because when I lie down, and today I was lying down, and what I could feel is my heart. And what I could feel is my heart pulsating and my arms stretching to the size of this entire planet. And it may sound strange and not be a common desire, right? Many people want a desire to put things out in the world or whatever, their art, their craft, their creativity, all these beautiful things. And yet, all I feel I am built for, all I feel that my life is about is this beating heart stretching out through this entire globe. I came here to love, not to judge. I came here to love, not to analyze. I came here in the hope that my life and living it brings people softness inside themselves. Because we all so deserve to live this version of life that is loving, that is honoring towards ourselves, that is honest and genuine and beautiful. So breathing and relaxing and seeing to whatever degree you can receive that today. The beauty that you are. And I get that it can be hard. I get that it can be so hard sometimes, to incarnate in this experience. And yet somehow I find that every experience dissolves me into more of creation's love. And so just breathing and relaxing and extending yourself that. And maybe at first it's just this peace, And I'm saying at first, but so many people are struggling to find even a moment of true peace. And what is starting to happen here is that people are starting to experience a peace that is so big that no matter how stormy the human experience gets, the peace is so strong. It's like a strong pillar. That there's always something so much bigger and so much vaster than anything that's happening inside our bodies, our minds, and our personal energy field, and our lives and our experiences. And this just makes me so happy that this is accessible, that we have found a way by including everything and allowing everything to just open up a peace that is unshakable. And then from there, there is a warmth that can flow into your experience, And today, my sister sent me a picture of this golden rainbow slide and a little girl on it, like a 1-year-old, with hands up in the air and the biggest smile. And I saw this picture and I said to my sister, it's crazy that we land on this planet so pure, so full of life, and actually so full of joy. And then so many things happen and it gets so lost. And I cannot say that I am there, that I feel like that 1-year-old on the golden slide. But I can say that I look at her and I feel that it's possible. I feel that our peace allows for warmth and love to emerge and a freedom to start to emerge. And that freedom will ultimately bring us a true joy. And I've experienced it in glimpses, this pure joy, this blissful being because we are alive, this unencumbered way of being. And so I don't plan to age and decline. I plan to age and uncover how joyful it can feel once again to be alive. So let's see, seated where we are, how that would feel. A version of you that is so free and freed from the heaviness and the past, that it starts to just sparkle inside. And I said it often, for me, this soul energy feels very playful. It feels very childlike and very vibrant and jolly, and it has a bliss to it. And I know that not all days, maybe in this moment, bring us access to that. That sometimes when life breaks us a little and gets us in touch with painful parts, it is already amazing to lean into the peace. But I promise you, joy is coming. I can feel it. I can feel that joy is going to start catching us. True joy. A joy that has nothing to do with anything outside ourselves, just the joy of being alive. So letting your whole body be filled with whatever you feel benefits you now. Maybe that's just a calm, carried feeling. This moving sensation that you're carried by life. Because there's nothing more moving than in hard days feeling like something greater is carrying you. And it is, I promise you, it is. And maybe for you, it's this feeling of, okay, creation, show me how much love lives in this little body of mine. And starting to receive that, starting to receive the warmth, starting to receive the beauty. And maybe it is this blissful feeling just of a child skipping down the street, smiling, singing. Not just being carried by life, but playful in the midst of everything. And not as an act, just inherent. You know, you can't fake this till you make it. You can't think it up and then become it. It's actually qualities and properties that you have inside you that have simply been covered up by life. Oh, life. Oh, life. Keep breathing and relaxing and just allowing everything inside you to unwind. Seeing that nothing is required but you. Seeing that no experience is superior to another. Seeing that truth lies in the space between all perspectives. And that if we don't need to put anything on anyone, if we don't need to guide any experience in a certain way, we can really just fully live and be playful. Starting to also feel the weight that maybe you carried, the weight and responsibility for your parents, the weight and responsibility for your children, the weight and responsibility for your spouses, or even the weight and responsibility towards the world and its state, allowing all of that to fall off. You know, this soulful 1-year-old doesn't carry that. It's just in the experience of life. And we benefit from allowing that to be our experience. And humanity benefits from allowing that to be our experience because we are a collective web. And if you're sad and you feel broken, hold space for that. Let creation hold you. But if you feel excited and jolly and just beautiful and alive, allow that fully and completely. Just let the weight of everything drop off. Because in the end of the day, without belittling any experience that you have and the intensity of how it maybe feels, we are just here experiencing, that's it. There's nothing of truth that is touched by life. Who you are before incarnation, who you are during, and who you are after remains untouched. It remains lit. It remains joyous. It remains in the light. You've always remained in the light, no matter how your life has unfolded. Allowing every cell in your body to soften, open, pulsate. Seeing that it can start to listen to creation, to a truth that has no name, to receive it, to vibrate in accordance to it. Allowing the revelation of what I called yesterday the mothership of manifestation. Just unbecoming and dissolving into the energetic foundation that is the source of all of life. And allowing that to inform your body, your mind, your energy. And then rippling it out through your skin, into the room, into the neighborhood, city, village, country, continent, the globe. And seeing that if you are connected to infinity, and if you live in connection with infinity consciously, then you actually are always everywhere. Then you actually make the truth accessible, not as a concept, not as a monologue, not as a presentation or an ideology or a philosophy, but as a lived experience everywhere. And maybe just like me, you will find yourself lying on your bed one of these days, feeling your heart well up and your arms extend towards this whole globe, simply allowing it to feel love. And it's arms that extend. They don't hold, they don't grasp, they don't grab, they don't steer. They just receive the entirety of the human collective in the heart. Because all human beings want at the deepest level is love. Maybe they're not aware of it, but returning to the source, what is natural for us, what is our baseline, that desire to return is deeply embedded within every human being. Taking a breath, and on the exhale, start moving down through the layers of the earth, spotting your continent, your country, city, village, street, neighborhood, your house, your room, your body, and feeling all of that loveliness move through the crown, through the spine, into the pelvis, and from the pelvis into the earth. Anchoring yourself here. Maybe as this 1-year-old on the golden slide, with a smile from ear to ear. And maybe just exactly as you are in this moment, with whatever comes up, profoundly peaceful and held by life. Either way, keeping in mind that you cannot actually do life wrong, that you cannot actually make a mistake, you can only have an experience. And starting to notice that every experience is right for you, and that allowing everything to be reveals something beyond all of it. Yay. You can open your eyes, keeping the gaze soft, and slowly bringing the awareness all the way back.